We don't know the motive of the gunman at this hour, but we do know a man charged a security checkpoint at the Hilton where the White House Correspondents Dinner was taking place. You see the video on your screen. And he was charging toward a room full of journalists, politicians, and the President of the United States. Inside that room, because this has become so common in America, you have people that are multiple-time victims of political violence. Erica Kirk was in the room. People saw her in tears. Steve Scalise was a table away from me. That's the reason I'm wearing a tuxedo here as well. He was a victim of political violence. And then, of course, you have the president himself. That is the context for what we're talking about tonight. And we also know more about the specifics on the gunman himself. Matt, you've been looking into that.
We do have a name right now, Tony. It is Cole Thomas Allen, 31, from Torrance, California, just south of Los Angeles. Our understanding so far is that he has no known criminal record. We don't know much more other than the pictures we are now seeing of him being taken down, hands shackled behind him, zip-tied, face down. We do know that he brought at least 2 weapons in, a shotgun and a handgun. He was able to fire some of them as you saw him sprint through that security cordon towards that room that was closed off, sealed, as the president had just said, with many, many hundreds of journalists, VIPs, and politicians inside. We don't have a motive, and we don't exactly know what his target was at this moment.
We don't have a moment. We have the context, and I'll give you another note on the context here. There's the pattern of political violence with other politicians for many years now. We've had these conversations, it seems like every other week sometimes. And on the way out, as we were all escorted out, forced down one particular pathway, there are protesters. It is a free speech event. Protest is a free speech right. One of the signs that I saw on the way out said, "Death to tyrants, death to them all." Protected speech, ugly speech, and the kind of speech that can lead a broken mind to charge a security checkpoint like we just saw.
And Tony, I was in the room before this incident happened, talking to a White House official about all the threats that they have been getting. And they were talking about the decision that they were making about whether to move and where to move, because there is this heightened threat environment. You have several top White House officials and cabinet members who are actually living on an army base right now because it was determined that that was the safest place for them to live. We were just on the salad course when this happened. The President of the United States, who just said in that press conference, I was really ready to rip it tonight. He was very excited. This was his first time in either of his terms actually attending the White House Correspondents Association dinner. It was our Weijia Jiang who made that entreaty to him, arguing this was all about the First Amendment, the relationship between the press and the president, urging him to come. He was looking forward to it. He had worked with his joke writers on a speech, and we had multiple officials telling us after this shooting that he wanted to stay and give the speech anyway until the Secret Service told him that he had to leave.
You're seeing video on your screen right now that I shot from my table about 20 yards from where the president was sitting. You heard the president in the press conference praise law enforcement and the Secret Service response. I will say we were all in the room. The pictures of that the president posted of the suspect face down on the rug, that is quite close to a set of stairs that goes down to the ballroom itself. It's maybe 100 yards, 150 yards from the entry point into the ballroom and then the ballroom itself. It's not a great distance, so you can't fault his confidence, but I'm sure there will also be a review here of how close he got and why he was able to get so close.